Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's StepsBasic, and welcome back to the Comfy Cozy Community Show. Hello. Hi, kitten. How you doing? I got kitten today. But anyway, that's not what's important. What's important is for today. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I just wanted to say, first of all, hi, can I help you? First of all, we got a comment last week. How cool is that? We don't generally have to get, we don't generally get comments, so it's always good to get one. But this is from Crazy Canuck, a good friend of mine and a good friend of the channel. Apparently he too listens to Distractable. I was just listening to Distractable talk about the trolley problem this morning. I believe Mark concluded that he would survive being run over by a trolley, which is not the way that thought experiment goes at all. It really isn't. I love the idea of the global communication network as humanity's greatest achievement. Yes. However, he also follows up with, how about closing the hole in the ozone layer? This is a fascinating topic, too, talking about humanity's ability to overcome our own problems, I was talking about that, and there was this big stink raised in the 80s and 90s about how bad aerosol was for the atmosphere, specifically something within the ingredients of it that was literally tearing a hole in the ozone layer. And now nobody's complaining about it anymore, right? Yeah, it's because we fixed it. We kind of just stopped using that thing. It's amazing how well that worked, right? I did find that pretty fascinating. And again, thank you to Crazy Canuck for commenting on this and on that last video. And today's topic of the day is, have you taken a vacation, and where to, and how much fun did you have? Now, that is the topic of today's thing because the last week has been an interesting one. Kiddo got invited via the school and something called Education First Tours, EF Tours, to go to Japan. And we were all sorts of excited. We heard about this, and it's like, then reality kind of set in. I'm like, can we afford that? And can I go? So we're like, we're not going to make any judgments at all until we get to the day where they give us all the information. So we're going to be like just chilling and waiting for it. And we're all excited. We're anxious for this. And I'm like, kiddo, no matter what, we're going to make sure you get to Japan because they done got you excited about it. And if you can't go, then I'm going to feel bad. So we're going to make sure we can get you to Japan. Come the day, we go and we sit in on their little informational thing, and they're like, yeah, 150 students were selected for this. I'm like, cool. 25 guaranteed slots. I'm like, not cool. Why, what? And they're like, oh, yeah, you have to start paying by May 5th. I'm like, And they're like, yeah, it's $5,000 for the student. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You don't have a guaranteed slot for my kid yet. The trip is in 2025. And you expect me to start paying for this trip, and there's no guarantee we're going to even get into it. Yeah, no, I'm good. No, it's fine. So and then on top of that, $5,000. And then for me, if I wanted to go, first of all, no chance I'm going, because I have to hope that a kid drops out before I can get a slot, which I understand and I'm okay with. But on top of it, it would cost me $5,600. $5,600 to go. You ready to go out, kitty? You want to go out? But anyway, it would cost me $5,600 to go. And I'm like, okay, we're not doing this. But I told kiddo, I can get us there, and I can give us an enjoyable trip for half that cost for the both of us. Not entirely true, not entirely accurate, but I can at least get us to Japan for half the price. And so now we're going to Japan, and I'm excited about that and terrified of it, but I'm excited about it. So thing is, here's the trick. See, I want to make sure you understand that I'm not selling EF Tours down. They offer an amazing package for $5,000. We're talking 9 days in Japan, 4 cities, and if you want to, you can actually pay extra and go to 5 cities in 11 days. But 4 cities, including Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, and one other that I forgot. But so many different activities, guaranteed to get in, or your money back sort of thing. If something happens, they will refund your money for it. And so it is a fantastic deal. The only problem is, one, the guarantee, and two, the price. I can't afford $10,000, and I can't afford, to pay for something I may not even get. You know what I mean? So as it stands, we decided we will be looking at it ourselves. EF Tour, fantastic package, bit too pricey for me. But me planning my own trip using their guidelines for a shorter time period and less stops can guarantee still having a fun time for half the price. And I say half the price, but it'll cost about $1,800 just to get us to Japan, and then we have to find places to live, stay there for, I'm thinking maybe 5 days, 5 to 7 days in between that amount of time. And I'm looking at one, their downtime, their down season, like their when tourism isn't nearly at its peak, so it's cheaper. You know what I mean? Looking at that, looking at apartments, or not apartments, I keep saying apartments, hotels that we can stay at for cheap, and looking for, I mean, to be fair, like there is a quality to a paying a bit more for a hotel room, but honestly, as long as there's no bugs in it, I don't care. I will not be staying in any place with bugs, but as long as there's no bugs, I will stay, as long as I can lock up my stuff, because I'm not planning on spending a whole lot of time in the apartment, in the hotel room. I plan to be spending it mostly walking around and looking at stuff, because that's just who I am. But it doesn't hurt to have a place to, sleep at night, right? But I'm looking at capsule stuff. I'm looking at regular stuff. Just ways I can cut the cost of my things. And so far, looking at going at low tourist times and stuff, we've managed to shave off a lot of money. I am looking to. I have a budget. I'm setting a budget of about $7,000 because I have a credit card that has $7,000 on it, and I'm going to pay it off, or at least most of it, by 2025 so that we can actually go, and that'll be my thing. And I'm excited. I don't take vacations. It's funny to think about it. Like I stress the importance of taking downtime, of resting and taking moments for yourselves. But I'm a hypocrite in that because I haven't taken a vacation in years. Last time I took a vacation, I was still married. And of course, at the same time, I think of it like, this is my job. I make videos on the internet. This is literally the only thing I do for my life, outside of, being a parent. So it's like, I often question, like, whether or not I deserve a vacation, as it were, because, like, I'm not working 9 to 5. I'm not out there busting my butt, although admittedly I do a lot of work for this channel. But yeah, I often question whether or not I deserve a vacation, which is part of the reason why I never take one. That, I really need to feel like I'm doing something. And at least a trip to Japan, or a vacation trip anywhere, I can be like, making videos, baby. Capturing memories, but also monetizing them. I joke, I'm not monetized. I have no subscribers. I don't have enough subscribers or watch time to be monetized. But I'm excited about going to Japan. Not just because it's Japan, but also because it's a vacation. Of course, if I were to pick a vacation spot, I wouldn't have picked Japan. No offense to Japan, because Japan is beautiful and has a lot of interesting things I want to look at. But I would have picked something, one, cheaper and probably closer, and also one I wouldn't have to start trying to learn a new language for. Admittedly, I probably don't have to learn Japanese, but I've started learning Japanese for the trip. That's one thing I've always said. When you go on a vacation, don't go on a vacation to a place just to be, I'm an American in this place. Go there to be immersed in the culture. Learn as much as you can. Try the food, try the cities, explore, have fun. But don't just be there as just like, I'm here as an outsider looking in. Try to ingratiate yourself as much as possible. And yes, I know that's sometimes impossible to do, but I'm going to try my best to get as into it as I can, because, well, that's how you should do it, When I went to Greece, I didn't go to Greece and just take pictures of all the statues and stuff. No, I went to a little inn. I sat with the innkeeper and his wife, and we talked for hours. It was amazing. It was my favorite memory from going overseas. When I went to Rome, I was a tourist. I was a tourist in Rome. Running around the Vatican just like, ooh, snap pictures. I was such a tourist, though. But I was also not on my own. I was kind of the designated sober buddy for a lot of people in Rome, which was, cool. And, when I went to Singapore, that was a bit different because that was kind of my first time out of the country, and that was weird for me. And I had a bunch of culture shock. I went to a mall and looked around. It was cool, and I'd say probably my favorite trip was Seychelles, though. Like, no, Rhodes is still my favorite, but Seychelles was on point. It was a lot of just wandering around the city and looking at stuff and getting food and talking with the taxi drivers and whatnot. Least favorite trip was actually Lisbon, Portugal, because right off the boat I got somebody trying to sell me hash, and I was like, "You're not setting a good example for this city, you know that?" And then I just walked away. He didn't speak English, so it was all right. But I also got Harry Potter 6 I bought there. I bought that overseas in Portugal. That's kind of neat. Had a different cover, so when I got back to the States and I looked at the cover that they were selling, I'm like, that's not the cover for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Not the Deathly Hallows. What the heck was the sixth one called? I don't even care. But I was like, that's not the same cover there. And it turns out, it's because I got the European version and the American version was different. But that was cool, I like that. So I've been to a lot of different countries. A lot of different countries. I've been to Portugal, Greece, Portugal, Greece, Italy, Seychelles, and the UAE. But also, when I was at the UAE, I went to Bahrain, Dubai, and Oman. And those are that's the list of my different countries I've been to. And now going to Japan is going to be great. And after that, we're going to be planning off different other things. I'm postponing my walk. I don't know if I told y'all about that, but I'm postponing that for a little bit. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got to talk about. We're planning a vacation. Vacations are cool and important, and when you go on a vacation, immerse yourself and have fun. But yeah, apart from all that, announcements. I actually finished playing Resident Evil 0. And I recorded an extra episode of it. The last episode will probably go up next week, and then I'll start Resident Evil 1. That's gonna be fun. Apart from that, don't really have any other real announcements. I know I'm still close to the end of Breathage, but I didn't play anymore this weekend because I went to friends and had some fun. But yeah, apart from that, that's going to be it for me for today. Thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of The Community Show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, please don't poke that like button for me. If you'd like to see more from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you're more than welcome to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Oh, and I can if I can. You know, all that jazz. And tune in next time for another topic, another time. And until then, good night.